What now? Welcome back to Defending Football. Thank you guys so much for watching. Yes, I know. The DC Defenders lost to the St. Louis Battlehawks 26-21 in the Battle Dome. And not even that. They lost to a backup quarterback. Obviously, that is familiar territory because they did that last week as well. So guys, what does this mean for the DC Defenders? Because the Brahmas beat the Renegades, the DC Defenders are no longer in the playoffs. So they are officially out, can't get in. So what does that mean for the rest of the season? So right before I get into that, I do want to say the offense once again let us down in DC. Ta'amu threw for under 60% completion once again. No rhythm on the ground with the rushing game, and it is very hard to make these videos and come up with new points every video when the issues are the same every single week. It's just a lack of rhythm, lack of aggression, and it seems like we just don't really care sometimes, which is really tough to watch as a Defenders fan. But this week, they definitely did care and they played hard, so I got to give it to them there. Obviously, that should be held as a standard. That should be every single week you're playing hard. And this week, they definitely did. But once again, they did not win the game. A must-win game. They did not win it. And it looks like we just are that team. We are a 3-5 football team. We could end the season 5-5. Our last two opponents are the Showboats and the Renegades, which are definitely winnable games. But with this team, I don't know what they're going to do, honestly. So the loss to St. Louis was a very tough one to watch. We were playing pretty well in that game, to be honest with you. There's a few things in the game that we couldn't get going, like the run game. I feel like we're always in third and long situations, probably because of that run game failing. And then Ta'amu having to improvise to create pretty much any play. In addition to that, Jordan Ta'amu got hurt once again and went out of the game once again. So I don't know if we want to start Jordan Ta'amu going forward, knowing we're not going to make the playoffs. And Jordan Ta'amu has been a topic of a lot of conversations with Defenders fans that I've been having. And I think we're all in agreement. We all like Jordan Ta'amu. The problem is his performances this year have not been good enough. Whether it's the players around him, the scheme, whatever it is, Ta'amu has not been able to maximize his potential on the roster like he was last year, winning Offensive Player of the Year in the XFL. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's thrown 7 interceptions this year, whereas last year I think he threw 2 all year. So that is not good. And he had some passes that were very tough to watch, one very bad interception, and I don't know where to go from here with quarterback. The reason I am saying that is because the DC Defenders did not take the quarterback position seriously going into this year. They saw Jordan Ta'amu as Offensive Player of the Year and said, all right, that's our QB1. Let's just pick up some gadget guys and let's go. The problem is you don't use those gadget players anyway. And then on top of that, if your starter does get injured, which happens all the time in pro sports, the backup has to be ready to play and starting caliber player. I think McClendon can start. The problem is I don't feel like they're ready to start him. They're very hesitant to start him, and they put Francois over him on the depth chart when Francois has not looked good at all anywhere he's been, except for like 1 year in college. So I don't know what we're holding on to that for. So I think going into the offseason, we need to look at the quarterback position. I'm not saying get rid of Ta'amu whatsoever, but we need to bring in some competition for Ta'amu because whatever we're doing now is not working, whether it's the offensive scheme, whether Ta'amu's playing style only goes with that scheme, and that's the problem, or the problem is the scheme isn't allowing Ta'amu to do what he likes. I don't know. I'm not in the room every day. I'm not going to call out Fred Keiss, as he called terrific plays last year, and our offense was almost unstoppable. So I don't know what the main issue is. Yes, the main excuse, we lost a bunch of players to the NFL. Abram Smith tore an ACL. Tight end retired. Lost linemen. I get that. But every team lost players. The multiple drafts in the offseason, the whole point of those, get players back. Get better. Bring in competition. What do? We did do that. And then we let them go. We said, all right, we're good with who we got. We are the Defenders. Let's just run it back. Problem with that is we didn't pick up enough players to actually improve the roster. I can't think of all the positions off the top of my head, but there are many positions that we just kept dudes that we liked instead of guys that were better. And I think that is a major problem and something we definitely need to address in the next offseason. Now, what do I want to see for the rest of the year? 2 games left. We have 1 game against the Showboats and 1 game against the Renegades. The last thing I want is to lose to the Renegades, so we better win there. And then we should definitely win against the Showboats. The thing is, Do we start Te'amu? Honestly, I say there is no point to starting Te'amu. He keeps getting injured. Let him sit. Let him rest. Let him be the leader in the locker room to Jalen McClendon, and let him just start the game and see what we got in him. And please, for the love of God, do not hamstring Jalen McClendon to all of these RPO plays. And please get creative with Jalen McClendon. We had a few creative play calls by Fred Keiss last week with Kiki QT, end arounds, things like that. And I like it. We need to do that a lot more, especially with McClendon. Go out, run him. Quarterback power, read options, anything you want. He has a great skill set. He's a huge body, giant arm, and call plays for Jalen McClendon, not for Jordan Te'amu. I really want to get a fair shot for Jalen McClendon this year. He might as well get 2 full games of tape and see what he can do. Losing the next 2 games doesn't really hurt us much. If anything, it helps us with draft capital, I guess. So why not start Jalen McClendon? If you're starting Te'amu, I just don't understand it. And in this offseason, if this league does not expand, please take a look at Ben DiNucci. Personally, one of my favorite players from the XFL, played for the Sea Dragons, our rival. But if the Dragons don't come back this year, I think DiNucci needs to be the #1 name on your phone. I'd be calling that guy, eating dinner with him every day, give him a nice headband that says Defenders on it so he could wear it super high on his head. I'd make up his jersey for him and hand it to him and be like, here you go, pal. This is exactly what you need next year. But obviously, I don't know if the Defenders will go for that as they seem to really want to build around Te'amu. As we've seen with the Stallions, there's literally no harm to having multiple good quarterbacks. If you put Matt Corral on the DC Defenders, do you think our record would be better? That's my question to you guys down below. I don't personally know, but the QB position is super important in any league, so we definitely need to take a hard look at that. We need to take a hard look at the defense as well. The secondary looks pretty solid, but our linebackers and interior line look pretty weak as we're giving up the most rushing yards in the league, which is crazy. But if you are a DC Defenders fan, please stay tuned and watch these games and go to the last game of the season against the Renegades. They beat us in the championship, and you got to be there to help the Defenders beat them. So I'm sticking with it. The offseason is going to be huge. I'm going to be making videos all the time about the offseason, and I'm going to start an expansion series, so stick around for that. I might do something special for 1K subscribers. We're at like 720 or something like that right now, so I appreciate you guys so much. Let me know down below what I should do for 1K. Maybe I'll do an eye reveal. I don't know. But anyway, I am going to get out of here. So for the love of football, defend football, baby.